we've had some pretty good speakers tonight already, but I'm a little bit disappointed because I'm not here to talk to you about chocolate, so don't be too mad at me, but I do have samples for after the presentation that you guys are going to be able to enjoy. Okay, good. Everybody likes salted caramels, right? Yeah? Okay. So what I'm actually going to be talking to you tonight about is basically how I use our local Chamber of Commerce as a vessel to not only grow my business, but actually to create real, tangible community and economic impact. And I think that's important because while we all can relate to chocolate and how good it tastes and all that, this is really important too because you might have a different business or you might have struggles in your community and you want to say, how can I make it better? How can I grow? So just to give you a little bit of a backstory about how I got into chocolate, 24 years old, no experience. I ate it, didn't know how to make it, trial by error. And it was a very stagnant economy back in 2010 for the job market coming out of college with a marketing degree. And I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I apply my skills? And so becoming an entrepreneur, you certainly use all of those elements of design and marketing and advertising, but there's so much going on around the world, and how do you get your message out there, and how do you get your product out there? So the answer really is to be active, is to think with an open mind, is to go out there and grab it. And the best way that I saw it actually came in this aha moment where I was working 2 jobs just to keep the store open. That's not successful. That's running and chasing your tail. So we would do $6 in sales on a weekday. And that's $6 in sales, that's not even profit. And I said to myself, okay, this town is successful. We have nationally recognized restaurants. What do I do? And it was in that moment where people would come in the door and say, what else is there to do? What can I see? And time again, it would have to come out of my mouth. Well, what's wrong with that? Nothing. But that's where the famous strolling guide that started it all. And basically, when you're a tourist and you go into a town, what do you want to know? You either pull up your smartphone or you get one of these guys. We had neither. And I'm sitting to myself saying, all right, that's easy. And I designed this on PowerPoint. Everybody always laughs, PowerPoint. And very simple concept. You put it all down. And who can you get this out to? Everybody, because everyone's on it. So everyone's going to see your name, everyone's going to see your advertisements, and they're going to love you for it because it puts their name out too. It's a very full circle mentality, and that's something that I think is really important in what I call the Itsy Bitsy philosophy. Now you're thinking, okay, Itsy Bitsy philosophy, I don't get it. Come to the store, 225 square feet. It doesn't get much tinier than that. I think the stage is probably bigger than the candy store, okay? But I want to show you guys that you can be itsy bitsy and still have huge impact on the people around you, the businesses around you, and all of that. So by bringing this to the Chamber of Commerce, I said, this is a starting point. What else can we do? And I think 4 years into my position with the Chamber of Commerce, I'm now running almost 30 events. We have strolling guides, restaurant guides, a tourism website, a newly redeveloped chamber website in the process. But here's the problem is, Christie, that is all well and good, but where's your sustainability? And that's where I'm getting to now, is that we can do all the good in the world, but it takes a team effort. It's not just one person, it's not one strolling guide, right? It's about how we work together. So the Itsy Bitsy philosophy, I really like to say, is once you get to the top, you reach down your hand and you pull the next person up. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about us. Because we do all have to work together, and when we all succeed, we all win, right? Simple concept. So what I'm going to show you now is actually something that I'm pretty proud of. You already know I love my PowerPoint. So I made about 6 presentations for tonight and I couldn't choose. But I thought this would be something that everyone can relate to. because who here has their own business? Okay. Who here wants to have their own business? Okay. And then who here works for a company and wants to get their name out there? Okay, so we have a good mix. And this applies to everyone, because I always say the more active you are, the more people get to know your face. I mean, we're in an age of digital media, social media, getting to know everyone from a distance. But don't count out that personal interaction and all of the things that you can do on a face-to-face basis, right? So what I'm actually creating now, and I just submitted this exact presentation to our Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to circle back around to sustainability, because as you can imagine, 30 events a year, marketing, all of these things together, it's a full-time job and it's volunteer work. So there has to be a point where you say, okay, again, let's do great things, but help me do more. So this will be, if I can pull this off, the first ever paid position in our local Chamber of Commerce. And why that's important is it shows investment back into the town. It shows investment back into the businesses who are investing in them and their community. I like to think of myself as a bridge between that municipality and all those things. So when I go through this, I'm not going to bore you with the nitty-gritty details and the numbers and all that, but I want you to focus on some of the quotes that I have there. Very philosophical. You always kind of have to peel back those layers and look at why you're doing something and what it affects and who is it for. So we'll go into the first slide. The best marketing doesn't feel like marketing. I mean, we get sold on stuff every day, all day. You can't open your phone, you can't look at a billboard. Everyone's pushing something. So when you're in small business especially, you want to have that personal touch where you can say, mano y mano, you're buying from me, and this is what I stand for. So what I put together for them was basically a breakdown of the development of the position, the public relations aspect, transition, and compensation. You keep it simple, because you can always grow it from there, right? Start with a strolling guide, start with something manageable, and then always grow from there. So Richard Branson, I think he knows a thing or two. Every success story is a tale of constant adaptation, revision, and change. Change is hard. We're not comfortable with that, but that's okay, because change can be good as long as it's done with intention, and make sure that you evolve. It's not about just doing the next thing. It's about creating the next successful moment. And success, guess what? It's not just about dollar signs. There's much more to it, okay? There's fulfillment, there's happiness, there's impact, all of these things, okay? So I'll kind of skip over that. See, look, we've got tons of cool stuff to see where we live. Look at that lighthouse. You can see all these rivers and stuff like that, okay? Next to doing the right thing, the most important thing is to let people know. It's not about being selfish. It's not about saying, look what I can do, guys. It is really about, you know, getting the information out there, communication, saying like, of course you want to buy from me, of course you trusted me because this is what I stand for. These are all of the things that when you buy a piece of chocolate, it goes right back into the community. It goes into, you know, early education. It goes into, you know, just happy things. Okay? And that leads you into public relations. The public, I mean, you guys have earned your chops as being a little bit finicky, I would say, right? Because we all have different opinions, we all have different wants, we all have different needs, and that's okay. But make sure any action that you make has consequences that are good. Again, peel back those layers, say what goes beyond that, what are the unintended consequences? What do I want this to achieve and accomplish? Look, we even got little historical churches. It's super cute. Okay, so good old Benjamin Franklin. Growth is a process of trial and error. But I definitely like how it says experimentation, because I'm kind of a mad scientist brain a little bit, And that's the thing, you fool around, see what sticks, see what works. This is what I found works for my business because I invested in it and I played around with the little details and I made sure that this is the right thing to do with the most impact for my business and for everybody else. Okay, transition. That's always a big one because with change comes transition, comes how do we get there from here. Great things in business are never done by a person, they're done by a team of people. Absolutely. We all know that guy, okay? I could stand up here and talk and talk and talk. I'm here to inspire and to motivate, okay? Because words mean nothing without actions that go with them. And you can't do everything alone. So even, let's just say something like, we'll go back to the strolling guide. Yes, did I design it? Yep, but who printed it? Who made the paper? So on and so forth. Who created the ink? I mean, we're not in a primitive society anymore. You need resources and you need them to be quality so you can get to the next step, okay? Okay, gave them a whole cost analysis. And I want to point out, I redacted the numbers, but cost versus value. I think we've all heard of that. Because you can see a price tag. You go to Ashley Furniture, they've got, you know, $1,000 couch, but don't worry, it's on sale for $200. You know, and it's kind of this game, but it's important to recognize the value in something in addition to the cost, because you want to know if someone's extending the favor and they're lowering your price, you got to be careful because sometimes people are not going to pay full value for what you have if you don't set that standard. And I think it's really important anytime you make this investment, you've got to show the value, make it tangible, okay? So, the best compensation for doing things is the ability to do more. Reason being, we have this newly created position, and that's great, but now you spent more money. What are you accomplishing? Well, that's the thing, you can do more. Anytime you get more resources, anytime you have funding, anytime you have that, reinvest it. That's what allows you to do greater things. You don't have to necessarily go out and blow the money on whatever. You take the time, you say, I worked for this money, and this is what I choose to do with it, and the best investment that I could have made with that money, or with that time, or with whatever skill that you bring to the table, that helps you do more, and it actually has done, I think we've tripled our business since I've been doing this. Reduced our overhead by 35%. So there's real numbers here, and that's what you want to say is like, the work is not finished. Keep going, keep pushing forward. Okay, so these are all of the things that this new position can create. And it just started with one person's desire to make a change and to make something better and to better themselves. Because I'll tell you what, this kind of looks a little clip art, it's cute though, but my skills have been refined from all the work that I've been doing through the Chamber of Commerce. It is a two-way street, so make sure anything that you invest in will also invest back in you, okay? So once again, understand what you're doing. Warren Buffett. Simple concept. However, we take it for granted. If you don't know, learn. If you're curious, explore. That's the Itsy Bitsy philosophy, that there's this whole great world around you. Be a part of it. Invest in it. Let it take the time to redevelop who you are so that you can not only just go against the grain and work uphill, there's going to be a point where you hit that top and you're going to be slide right down and you're like, this is the ride I've been waiting for, right? And then you eat your salted caramel and everything's right there. So I appreciate you guys taking the time, and I think there's a lot more I can say. I wish I could give you all the details about these events and stuff like that, but I'm going to be happy to answer any questions, and you know, just one piece of advice is just use this and this, and you can't go wrong. So thank you.